Hey everyone, in this video I'll explain what a Terraform state file is and why it used and its importance. Okay, so let's start with the state file. So Terraform state file is basically a file that you use to keep, which basically stores your information about your current infrastructure. Okay, so basically, it keep track of like what resources you have created, what are the configurations, and what are the IDs of those resources. All kind of information which Terraform has created in any environment, all are get stored into this TF state file. And this file we basically see as a Terraform dot TF state. Okay. Next point is, why is it required? Okay, why is it needed? So Terraform basically does not directly query AWS every time to see what are the resources it has created. So instead of that, what it does, it uses the state file which it has created, and there it check like what already exists in the infrastructure. For example, you have created a EC2 instance, and in that case what will happen, the state file will store all the information about the EC2 instance which it has created. For example, the instance ID, the configuration details, and some metadata details, all kind of information it keeps track into this state file. Okay, so what happens whenever you run this next time the terraform plan command? So in that case what happens, terraform compares your code, the one you have written in your main.tf maybe, then it checks your state file, then it checks the actual infrastructure. So these all things happens whenever you do this terraform plan. It basically checks everywhere what are the things happening and all. Okay, so now if we talk about some real example, suppose you created a s3 bucket using terraform. So bucket detail are now saved into the state file. Now if you change something in a code, what happens, terraform checks the state file first. After that what happens, it then updates only when it's needed, otherwise it won't update. Okay, so now the important things which you should like know about the state file is that, so let me just add a new slide here. Okay, so very first thing, it is terraform state file is nothing but your single source of truth, which means basically if it is there then everything is fine. If it's not there, you are gone, your manager will kick your ass. Okay, next thing is that it maps terraform resources to real aws resources. Okay, so whatever you have created the terraform resources, it will map to your aws resources. And also thing is, it should be stored securely, as many companies use that a remote state locking thing. You can configure into the backend block, you can add implement this dynamo db lock, so state locking will be there and will store into the s3 bucket. And you will keep you should also manage the versioning as well to keep the state file safe. Okay, and one more thing also, it you should never edit this state file manually, otherwise there will be a lot of problem for you. Okay, so also one more thing, this local versus remote which I've just explained. So if you are using this s3 backend and all, in that case it will store into your remote like whatever remote bucket which you have configured. Otherwise it will store into the local. Okay, so that is basically called as the local state. So that's it about this terraform state file and its importance. So if you find this video helpful, then please leave a comment, and if you have any question you can ask me in comment section, and if any improvement is required from my side, that also I'll accept it. So that's it guys for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.